It's always after a couple of worrying performances when journalists decide to strike with some high-octane tabloid-esque headlines.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's going on, peeps? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that on Chelsea Football Club's Team Photo Day. Are we central here? I wonder. On Team Photo Day, where the club has put out loads of media of the team all sitting together posing with the Club World Cup as world champions. Loads of different photos, videos of them all joking around, smiling, laughing together, having a good time. After the night before, of course, frustrating, dare I say, even worrying performance against Lincoln, but in a way, win that sees Chelsea qualify into the next round. There's been some news circulating on social media from, what's his face? I'll show you in a second, but it's at Indy Kyler. Now, this guy gained relevance. He's a social media account that claims to have sources as a journalist, but apparently gained credibility in the last transfer window when David Ornstein credited him for a story that he got to first prior to the Athletic big dog. And he's come out with some sensationalism about Maresca in Chelsea, which we are going to react to in today's video. So strap yourselves in. But thanks for joining me in the meantime. Really grateful to have each and every one of you here. And of course, you're all most welcome here on Football Therapy. So if you enjoy the content, why not like and subscribe? I'm very grateful for that. And should you want to help me out a little bit more, you could drop the hype points just under the video. Pop them in the hat. And that'd be great. Don't have to, though. Do what you want, ultimately, at the end of the day. Alright, then. Let's dive into this, shall we? I've screenshotted it and added it to OBS. Here it is. At Indy Kyler News exclusive. With a little... I'll move over here so you can see better. So you can see me as well as the tweet. According to CFC sources, what are they? We don't know. Cole Palmer is unsatisfied with his tactical role for Chelsea. Certain players find Enzo Maresca, quote, arrogant. Chelsea owners are aware of concerns from the players, and Andone Iraola has big admirers at Chelsea Football Club. Of course, the Basque Spanish Bournemouth manager, who is very good. Okay. We'll break this down, yeah? But firstly, my instinct was, this is, by the way, complete nonsense. Well, not complete nonsense, there might be some frustration. First of all, sorry, I keep moving the camera. First of all, arrogance. All the best Chelsea managers have been arrogant. Bar, I'd say Carlo Ancelotti. All the other good ones have had a touch of arrogance. I think you need it, otherwise you end up with the Graham Potters of this world. No disrespect to Graham Potter, I just don't think it suited the club. And yes, we always heard, and this was the briefing to the Athletic, Matt Law of the Telegraph, the ones that get, and other high-profile sort of broadsheet journalists that get briefed from the club, that no matter what happens, Maresca was going to be looked at after 2 years, and in his first year, he was incredibly successful. They took the Club World Cup very seriously. They wanted to get into top 4. I mean, look, again, just in terms of his first season in isolation, Chelsea had a lot of ins and outs. It's a really, really turbulent club. That's a nice way of putting it. At the best of times, often can be described as a circus. A really hard environment for any manager to operate in, as we've seen in the past 3 years. Despite that, the huge turnover, despite having, here it comes, and I do apologise, the youngest Premier League team in history, he met his targets. Champions League qualification with a place to spare, of course, reaching top 4 instead of top 5. Palmer, of course, was winning the Conference League, especially after the investment. Let's not play silly buggers here. We won the Conference League. We won it in style. Cole Palmer, of course, winning man of the match. Cole Palmer, by the way, we'll talk about his tactical role in a moment. Winning man of the match in all these finals. Maresca coming out, when he comes off injured saying, yeah, Cole gave a fantastic effort for the club. He's our best player. always waxing lyrical about Cole Palmer as Enzo Maresca. He says he's our best player. When people were saying, are you Cole Palmer FC, or, when we scored all those goals without Cole or whatever, he says, no, Cole's our best player. And when he comes on and comes off, some people might say it's wrong of Palmer to say I can play when he's injured. There'll be people that would criticize Palmer, maybe in that scenario. And players always want to play, of course, but if you're injured, be honest, so you don't have to come off. But Maresca says no, he made a fantastic effort. So he's saying glowing, positive things about Palmer. In the media, Palmer, of course, under Maresca, has just got 8th place in the Ballon d'Or. It's very hard to accept this, yeah? Because even without this really successful first season, beating PSG in the final, a really high-profile success, everyone suddenly started talking about, are Chelsea suddenly title contenders? That was the big talk in the summer, wasn't it? After we beat PSG in the final. So after what can only be described as an incredibly successful first season, a manager who doesn't say anything overly sensational or throws toys out the pram, like previous Chelsea managers have done in public, seemingly is their guy in terms of willing to work with them, unlike, people like Pochettino wasn't. And sorted out Chelsea's. I mean, look, any manager would have made us more defensively resolute after that Pochettino season, and that's including someone like Thiago Silva in the defense. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like there's so many. Even if he had a really bad season, they'd wait to the end of the season before they evaluated it. Also, in terms of the turbulent start to this season, yeah, we could have got more. It's a shame. We did all right against Bayern Munich, but it's a shame we couldn't really, pull out. A draw would have been an amazing result, all things considered, contextualized, etc. But we lost. We didn't disgrace ourselves. The rotated side looked a bit worrying against Lincoln, but we got the W. And then really, of course, the main negative underlined circle around result this season is Manchester United away. And it's very hard to say what we learnt from that because Sanchez got sent off in the 3rd minute, and then the reportedly dissatisfied Cole Palmer came off of an injury. I, of course, don't want to say I rightly, but we all criticise Maresca, in my opinion, rightly, for the overreaction in terms of bringing Neto off. I understand Stevo in the moment, but again, if you knew Palmer was injured, yeah, he should just bring Palmer off and be like, well, he's got a groin, injury. We're playing in crazy rain here. We've got to take a player off. The smart move is to take Palmer off and bring on Jorgensen and keep Stevo and Neto on for outlets. But no, he's his main guy. I think Cole Palmer, in many ways, he's like Cole Palmer's biggest cheerleader here. So I'd be very, very, interested to hear why Palmer would be dissatisfied, because he said positive stuff. I know they all say positive stuff about the manager in the media, but firstly, I'm only reacting to this because it's got a lot of interactions and growing already. It's already got 250,000 views, this tweet, from, an hour ago, and it will, go more viral. I've seen this account before. I wouldn't give it much credence apart from the fact how, David Ornstein has given them props before. So he's obviously, someone's told him something. But yeah. So let's just break this down once more. My perception is, and what we hear from the brief journalists, and again, of course, this isn't sources from inside the dressing room, which could be more valuable. This is what Chelsea are briefing is. They're going to wait for 2 years to evaluate Maresca. Of course, he's had a really good first year. We're into the second year. It's not the greatest start, but then, of course, you could obviously, we never knew how well we were going to start because of the Club World Cup in the summer, how that was going to affect the players, with, conditioning, essentially. But actually, and guys, this stat includes the horror show away at Old Trafford with going down to 10 men in the opening seconds. Chelsea are the 4th highest for big chances created, and that includes the 10-man away at Old Trafford in the biblical storm. So had that been a normal game, who knows, maybe we'd be top 3 for big chances created in a season where we're waiting to get going, we're waiting for certain players to settle in more. I think it's kind of fine. I think it's too early to evaluate the data from this season anyway. You got to wait till a bit longer. Palmer, So in terms of like being Chelsea as a club, I think they're, as far as up till this moment, till I looked at this tweet, my understanding is they were delighted with Enzo Maresca. He obviously does have a strong personality type, but that's a good thing for Chelsea. Cole Palmer, I mean, maybe he's dissatisfied with his role. That could be something to that. Do you know what I mean? It could be. But we need to keep him happy because he's our best player. But at the same time, we also need to make sure we're not Cole Palmer FC. We need to get the best of, Joao Pedro's and Estevão's, and we need to see Andre Santos's quality shine through. And Palmer has a recurring injury that maybe apparently he's going to be out for a few weeks. And it's obviously a bad thing, but it's a good thing to rest an aggravated injury and finally get over it. Do you know what I mean? It says the Chelsea. It doesn't actually say in this tweet the Chelsea owners are, considering a change. It just says they're aware of concerns from players. And Andoni Iraola has big admirers at Chelsea. So, and other than Palmer, Enzo Fernandez would probably be a player. The namesake that maybe has issues because he keeps arguing. We've seen him argue with Maresca this season on the touchline. We've seen Maresca shout at him even yesterday. But, he relies on him all the time. He's playing him in a way that Fernandez gets a lot of glory. He's given him the vice-captain's armband last season, especially after all that drama with the Argentina national team with Wesley Fofana. Remember all that? He still got granted the vice-captaincy from Maresca. And what actually has happened under Maresca is Fernandez has played his best football at Chelsea, scoring the most goals and getting the most assists. His career, he had a career season last campaign, Fernandez. So, Wagwan, do you know what I mean? If you break it all down like that, and what is going to be... Do we want to start changing managers every 18 months again? Look, this is almost certainly nonsense, yeah? But the fact how this geezer got a shout out from Ornstein, I wanted to reference it. Just in case anyone needed telling, I'm very much Enzo Maresca in. I mean, you're someone in until you're out, basically. But I would have to see a drastic decline from Maresca. I'm so sick of changing managers. I'm pleased with how he's made our defence better. I'm pleased with how he's managed us in finals, how he's given us 2 trophies after such a big drought. I'm pleased how he trusts young players like Shim and other. He gave loads of academy debuts. The way he's turned to Estevão straight away to play in high-profile games. He's not scared to use the kids. And yeah, I like how he's a stern character. I like how he's passionate. I like how he's got this aforementioned arrogance, because for me, you need that with Chelsea. You need to be the strong character. You can't be soft. And I think he suits the role. I think he suits the Chelsea manager mould, personally. Of course, it's a game of opinions, and I'd always welcome everyone else's, provided they're asserted respectfully. Anyway, I think it's probably... Do I think it's fake news? I think probably, broadly, it's fake news. There might be some frustrated players, but, in the summer, we've seen immense player power of like Johan Visser and Alexander Isak forcing moves. I think it's been very unpalatable. I think players need to start getting in line a little bit more, to be honest. And maybe I'm a bit old school like that. The manager is the manager. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Yeah. Keep it locked. Hope to see you back here soon. Peace.